If you use the wrong lens, your videos could look pants. Not only that, but you could end up missing the shot and even wasting money on a lens that's just gonna sit on a shelf collecting dust. And the problem is, with so many lenses out there and so many people saying that this is the lens that can do it all, or this is the only lens that you need, it can be difficult to know you're making the right decision. And we want choosing a lens to be more like when the wand chose Harry Potter, and less like when someone gives you a gift that you don't want for your birthday. So whether you're buying your first lens or adding another one to your kit bag, I'm going to show you the different types of lenses, where they're best used, how to save money, and a few key questions to ask yourself to ensure that you're making the best choice. Now, I don't know you, so it's impossible for me to tell you exactly which lens to go out and buy. And the problem with watching a lot of YouTube videos is they're telling you what their best lens is for them. But the thing is, everybody's needs are different. Take Jessie, for example. She wants to be a wildlife videographer, and she watched a video online saying that the best lens ever is the 16 to 35mm zoom lens. So she went out and got one and was really excited to use it. But as soon as she started filming, she quickly realized that all the animals were way too far away, and if she wanted any decent shots, she'd have to get super close to the animals. Then there was Steve, who wanted to start a YouTube channel and was told that a 50mm prime lens was the perfect lens for video. But he quickly realized that when he came to vlog with it, it was way too close and all he could see was his head. And that's why the first question I always ask someone is, what type of work will you be doing, or what subjects do you want to film? Someone filming wildlife will have a completely different set of lenses than someone who films music videos. And when you ask yourself this question, you can then think about the focal length range that you need to cover. Focal length is how wide or tight the field of view is, or how much is in the frame. I'll come on to that in a little moment because I don't want to get too nerdy. And first, you need to know the different types of lenses and what makes them different. So on the table with me here, I've got a selection of lenses. We've got a wide zoom lens, a prime, a telephoto zoom, a macro, and a cinema lens. Now, most of these lenses are Lumix lenses. What I'm talking about in this video still applies to whatever brand you're using. Now, zoom lenses are great because in a way, they're multiple lenses in one. They cover a range of focal lengths. And that's going to save you a lot of time because you don't have to keep switching lenses for different types of shots. You can just change it on the lens. But there are a few downsides. They can be quite big, quite heavy, rather expensive, and they don't let as much light in as a prime lens, for example. So if you're like Steve and you want to vlog, it'd be better to use a wide angle zoom lens for a little bit more variation. Something like this 16 to 35mm lens would be perfect. The lower the number, the wider the field of view. I can get this shot with me in and show my surroundings, but if I wanted to spin the camera around and show something else, I can zoom in slightly and focus on that subject. I can also get a shot like this using that lens, so it's quite versatile. If you're doing a lot of sport or wildlife videography, then usually you're going to be quite far away from the subject. So something like this telephoto lens would be ideal for that. These are more zoomed in and tight. So these are going to allow you to capture the action from afar and you're not getting in the way. So this 70 to 200mm is a great range, but you can go further with even longer lenses if you need. Then you've got your mid-range zooms, which cover that in-between range. Something like a 28 to 70. I actually don't have one of those, but I do have this 20 to 60 kit lens, which is really affordable and it's great. I use it all the time. And these mid-range zoom lenses are the ideal all-rounder. Great for things like weddings or events where you need to capture some wider shots, as well as some more zoomed-in portrait-style images. Then we've got prime lenses. So a prime lens is just a fixed focal length. So if you buy this 50mm, for example, you're stuck with that focal length alone. You can't zoom in or zoom out. So they're not very versatile in that way. However, the upside to them is that they're usually better quality and they let more light in. For example, this zoom lens here is an f4 lens, while this prime lens is f1.8. Now, the lower the number, the more light it's going to let in. And this does two things. It allows you to film in slightly darker situations, but also it's going to give you a blurry background to separate your subject. Macro lenses allow you to get really close to your subject and capture the finer details. This is actually a brand new lens from Lumix, announced today, in fact, and most 100mm macro lenses from other brands are huge, really heavy and very expensive. So this little thing is awesome. You can also get wide-angle macro lenses which can look quite unique. Then we have this anamorphic cinema lens, and I absolutely love this lens. I did a full video about it, you can see up here. So it's 150mm, and you might think that's quite tight and zoomed in, and normally they are, but an anamorphic lens gives you a much wider field of view. So you still get that same focal length, that nice look, but with more in the frame. And it also gives you those nice flares and a really nice blurry background. But the downsides is that the minimum focus distance is quite long, so you can't get really close. The main thing to think about if you're just starting out is they are manual focus. So you're either gonna have to get someone to pull focus for you, or it's just another thing to think about amongst everything else. A great way to save money when buying lenses is to either buy secondhand from a trusted seller, somewhere like MPB. It's not sponsored, this video, but I've used them a bunch of times. They're really good. You can find some great deals on there and select the condition as well. Or you could choose third-party lenses like Tamron or Sigma, for example. So just because you have a Sony camera doesn't mean you have to buy Sony lenses. You can buy them slightly cheaper from third-party manufacturers, and the quality is improving all the time. That being said, a kit lens, one that comes in the box usually when you buy the camera, is a great place to start. And if you just bought the camera body alone, these are super affordable and they look great. I use this one all the time. It's never going to look as good as something that costs more, but to get started you can do a lot with these, and we're talking the smallest details if you're really getting up close to the screen and picking at finer details. Most people aren't going to tell the difference. Now obviously I can't talk about all the different types of lenses or the type of work that you might be doing in this video, but that's why this next set of questions is really going to help you pick. Do I need to be fast and not have to worry about lens changes? Do I need more light? Do I need to cover a range of focal lengths? Do I need a wide shot and fit more in the frame? Do I need to film from a distance? Do I want more blur? Do I need to get up close and show tiny details? Do I need autofocus? Something else you need to think about is, depending on what type of camera you use, for example, full frame, APS-C or micro four thirds, the range of focal lengths might be slightly different. Different cameras have different mounts, so you can't put all lenses on any camera. So it's worth typing in the model of camera that you've got and checking out what the range of lenses are, and then just choosing from that selection. You've probably got an idea in mind of what lenses you need. It might be one lens could do it all. There might be a few that you think, oh, I could do with all of those. So let me know in the comments which one you're thinking of, and also tell me what type of work you're doing. Now, as I mentioned earlier, choosing a lens isn't just about the function, but it's also about how the shot looks. And if you get it wrong, you can convey the wrong emotion and cause your viewers to become disconnected with the video. And that's why you should watch this video next, because I'll show you exactly how to avoid choosing the wrong lens for the wrong shots and make sure that you make the perfect lens choice every time.